Today's episode is brought to you by DB. DB is a Scandinavian brand that makes backpacks and bags to help people on the move stay ready for anything. From the streets to the peaks, DB's gear is travel tested by some of the world's best athletes, adventurers, and creators. Over the past decade, DB has designed and developed, released, and refined the best bags in the market. With DB's patented hookup system, you are able to attach smaller products to your backpack, roller, or tote.
It's important to have the right bag for your travels and adventures, and DB has you covered. From the Nair duffel to the strong backpack, DB ensures you always have the right gear for your journey. We are teaming up with DB to exclusively offer our listeners 10% off your next purchase by using the code POD10 or going to the link in our show notes. DB, it's time to move on. Time to get going.
Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home, and who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 291. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G Network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man? Hey, I know we're coming a little late, right? And it's my fault. I take full responsibility. Life got in the way, but we have a jam-packed show, right?
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
I actually stood in line for the Switch OLED at the Nintendo store.
You did.
And that was a journey in itself. But this was the first time I actually went to the movies since like Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
I haven't been in the movies in like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I saw James Bond. I'm a big James Bond fan.
So did I. Yeah, you love James Bond.
I love James Bond. Listen, man, it made me want to be British and move to.
Oh, yeah. They're so regal. I don't know what it is. It adds a certain air.
Yes, I love T. I love James Bond. And I love Harry Potter. Not afraid to admit it.
There you go. Okay. I support that. So what did you think about the new movie? Because I had some thoughts.
I don't want to get into spoilers.
No, I don't think we should. Because it just came out, right?
The last 10 to 15 minutes, I was a little disappointed. I was super hyped. Super hyped for the whole movie. It started, I was like, this is hype. I was like, I love Daniel Craig. Not just because we have the same sort of first name, Daniel, right?
I think it's a little bit to do with it. A
little bit to do with it, right? A little bit. Yeah. But Spectre will always be the end.
What?
To Daniel
no.
Craig. For me, Spectre will always be the end.
Spectre and Quantum of Solace are in the bottom of the 5.
What?
Yes.
You're crazy. Crazy. Spectre was amazing.
Look. Casino Royale, Skyfall.
Casino Royale was not better than Skyfall. Skyfall,
it has the best theme song. Adele killed it.
I give you that.
Killed it.
But any discussion about Daniel Craig James Bond movies have to start with Skyfall.
Skyfall was amazing, and Skyfall was the one. I'm not gonna dispute But Casino Royale has got to be number 2. Number 3 at worst.
I love Casino Royale. I do.
You don't though.
I do. It's not a 6 on the scale. It's still 9 and some change. I love Casino Royale.
Wow. All right.
Skyfall.
Right.
Okay. Spectre. I put Spectre number 2.
Okay.
If I thinking about it now, Skyfall, Spectre.
Wow.
Casino Royale. Quantum of Solace.
Okay. Oh God, no! Yes. You're gonna put Casino Royale at the bottom?
Quantum of Solace, and then No Time to Die.
Oh, you put No Time to Die at the end. Okay. Oh, wow.
No Time to Die. The last movie to me was not as good as the other 4 movies.
Wow. All right.
And it's so totally based on the villain. I'm not really feeling his motivation. Skyfall and Spectre, the villain was so big, so monumental, right? Like I can understand why those villains were so like.
Oh sure, sure, yeah. Javier Bardem
I'm trying
killed
not to
it.
spoil
Christoph
it, right?
Waltz killed it.
Yeah.
They were good.
But this villain in No Time to Die, I was just asking myself the whole movie. I was just like, why though? I don't understand. Why do you want to take over the world? Like I don't get it.
I agree. They didn't spend enough time on the ultimate villain, and we didn't get a lot of their backstory.
And the new 007, the female black 007.
Sure.
They would send her off on missions, and she would just do those missions. And you didn't see it. They didn't present it to you. And they would come back and she just did it. Right. It was just like, oh yeah, mission accomplished.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know if they're saving that for the video games. They did that with The Matrix with Jada Pinkett.
Oh, right. They did a side story thing. Yeah.
Did a side story.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, you couldn't fit it within the movie though, because it was already pretty long.
I don't know if that was stuff that they cut, or if that's maybe something that they're going to do in a video game where we get the female James Bond, right?
Maybe
female 007.
Yeah.
In a video game form, right? Yeah. That would be cool. That would be like, out of nowhere, and that would be awesome, and I would love that. But she had missions that were not on camera, and it was just like she did it.
Just not enough time,
We didn't see her being badass, right? Why is she 007, right? I didn't understand that. And the last 10 to 15 minutes, which again, I'm not going to say anything, not going to spoil it, but the last 10, 15 minutes is the whole reason. I can overlook not seeing missions from her. I can overlook the villain being weaker than the other villains in previous movies.
You didn't like the way it all came to a close.
I did not love how it came to a close.
I mean, they did tie everything together though, right? In the beginning when he's in like Italy or whatever, or France, right? And he goes to visit up on the mountain. I thought that was kind of cool. And then they kind of tied some stuff in from Spectre in there. It all kind of, I don't know. I liked it. But I'm with you on the villain. The villain's not great.
I can be honest, if the villain was amazing, I still wouldn't have liked it just because of the last 10 minutes of the movie. Sorry.
This guy.
Just,
all right. All right.
But they did also, I don't know if you've seen this, there's a trailer for the new Scream movie, Scream 5, which is just called Scream.
Yeah. They're rebooting it, but not rebooting it because it's still following the same.
Again.
Still following the same.
They rebooted it back in 2012.
Right.
And now this is the first Scream movie without Wes Craven, because Wes Craven passed away a couple of years ago.
That's right.
Rest in peace. They bring it back, Sidney Prescott.
Right.
It looks better than the last Scream movie. The last Scream movie, I can understand why the villain was the villain.
Yeah.
Right. So now I'm sort of hyped because this Scream is more not more gory, but more inventive of how they kill people. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Just from the trailer, I should say.
Yeah.
So
I did like in the trailer though, they basically harken back to the first movie where the girl's in the house by herself, right?
Yeah, but it was mostly text message. But it's mostly text messages. That's how people communicate.
Well, it's modernized, right? They didn't really have cell phones weren't ubiquitous, and then there's like the smart lock, right? The the killer keeps trying to hack into and open the smart locks up. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That was cool. Again, when you get to tell Siri to open your front door when they have Scream 2053.
Mm-hmm.
And Sidney Prescott's in a nursing home.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I get it.
I always kind of wonder about that. If you're like standing outside your door, right? Couldn't you just be like, "Hey Alexa, open the front door" or whatever? I think they have some protocol or whatever. You need to have your phone with you or something to be able to get in. But
no, but you know what? They're going to be making Scream movies forever, right? It's going to be like Sidney Prescott's granddaughter. And they're gonna be making.
Well, you could just have all new characters. Like the premise can still be the premise.
It's 2020. It's 2021. We're still getting Halloween movies. Okay?
I know.
Like
well,
Halloween.
the new trilogy is at least like the first two I thought were good, and the new one looks pretty good. Halloween Kills. So.
Yeah, but I just wanted them. They pretty much retconned everything after the first one, right? Like. Halloween was the direct sequel to the first.
Oh yeah.
Right. They didn't get supernatural like they did in Halloween 3 or 2.
No, he wasn't in 3. 3 was the worst one.
Well, there you go. 4, maybe 4.
How do you make a Halloween movie without Michael Myers? It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's about some weird ass costume company or something.
And it turns out that she wasn't really his sister. Like in part 2 or something like. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. The first one is a classic, man. The first Halloween, the OG one from like 78 or whatever it is, it's a classic, And then every movie after that aped off of that, right? They just stole from it. And then Scream, to like speak of Scream came along and redid, like flipped the genre on its head, right? Because they were like spoofing on all of the horror movies, right? Where you would go in the closet and the girl would be kind of helpless, right? And they spoilers for the first Scream, which was from 1997. So skip ahead like 20 seconds. But who you think would be the final girl, right? Drew Barrymore, who's a big name actress, especially at the time, she gets killed in the first 5 minutes, and it's great. She's running with the phone around the house. The ghost keeps calling and she's freaking out. And he just stabs her as she's like running through the yard. And then the movie starts.
You know what I would love to see? I would love to see like a prequel to like the original Scream.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we get to see Drew Barrymore's character at least because she's a little bit too old to reprise her role.
Well, yeah.
And just see why they killed her, of all people, first. That would be.
I think that
would be awesome.
I don't know if they actually said the motivation of why he killed Drew Barrymore. So that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
All right. So before this turns into like the movie podcast, we have an awesome show this week.
Right? Oh, well, hold on. Before we get into that, I have a quick gamer grief. Okay. And I need to lay it out right now. Since Friday, I just checked, they're back up now. But since Friday up until now, the Diablo 2 resurrected servers were down. For like 4 days, Dad. It's a brand new game that came out like a week or two ago. Okay. Right? They redid the whole entire thing. Blizzard is messing up. I don't know what's going on. It's a shit show. The game crashes all the time, right? And if you wanted to log online and play with your online character, which I have an online character, couldn't do it. I think if you had an offline character, right, that's not connected to the internet, I think you may have been able to play with that character, but they have an online service, right? Should be always active. So just had to get that out.
Very upset. Look at you getting upset. Man.
I mean, it's pretty bad for a new product that you're putting out, that you're charging large amount of money for. It's supposed to work, right? I'm playing it in single player mode, even though my character's online, if that makes any sense, right? People can join my game, but I'm really doing it solo. So there's no reason I should have been locked out. It's only because I made the character in online mode. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
they've since rectified the situation, correct?
I mean, as of now, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the servers go down again. But so far they fixed it. So we'll see.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right. Let's get the show back on track.
Okay.
We have an awesome show this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We talk about the last Smash Brothers character finally revealed. And we talk about Apple making more money than Sony, Nintendo, and Xbox combined on games on the App Store.
Crazy.
Right? But before we get into any of that, let's begin with everything Switch OLED.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
I waited in line for at least 3.5 hours at the Nintendo store in New York City to get the Switch OLED. When I got there pretty late. I didn't get there at 2 a.m, 6 a.m, 8 a.m. I got there around like 10ish, right?
Wow, you're rolling in late. It's
Yeah,
like,
you know
it's
why?
like, nah, I'm
You know
here
why?
for work. I'm good.
You know why? Because Dan doesn't wait. I don't pre-order tickets to see Endgame. I get tickets to see Endgame. I can get the PS5. I'll get the Xbox Series X.
You
I'll
got
get
the
Switch
PS5
OLED.
way after the fact, and you paid for the bundle.
I did.
don't wanna
Well,
hear it.
you know what? I didn't pay a
I don't wanna hear
scalper.
it.
I paid full price for all the games, and I paid full price.
Yeah, you got a
for the
bundle.
console.
You got a bundle.
Yeah, I did.
Uh-huh.
I did. I didn't pay more than what I needed to pay.
Well, if you wanted to buy all that stuff separately, sure. Yeah.
I bought all the stuff.
They basically
Technically, I
made you
bought
buy all that stuff
separately.
in a
That's
package.
fine. That's fine. You know what? You know what?
Uh-huh.
You know what? Hitman 3 looks just as good on my Xbox as it did on my PlayStation. That's all I'm saying.
How would you know? One of those copies isn't open yet.
Yeah. Demon Souls looks just as good on the PS5.
How would you know? It's not open.
Well, I got it in the collection. I got it in the
okay.
collection.
All right. Well,
Hey, if you listen to Saturday Morning Retro Show, I'm almost up to 5,000 games.
there you go.
So,
all right. So you got well. You waited in line for the OLED, right?
Well, I got there and I saw the line around the corner, and I said, "Screw that! I'm obviously not going to get it." And I went to a thrift store that's in the city, and I saw guys with Nintendo bags, and I just something in me asked, like, hey, oh, you got the OLED? And they're like, yeah, but the Nintendo store said they had like 300 in stock. So of course I said, if they have 300 in stock, I can get one if I go wait in line. So I ran, which is about 4 blocks away, ran back, waited in line, was in line for like 3 hours. I did wait a long time. Finally got in the store, and I was able, if you're watching on video, I see it behind me, I was able to get a Switch OLED white edition.
Watch the mic there.
Watch the mic. It's an expensive mic. We got to make sure we don't break the mic. I
Yeah,
got the Amiibo, the Metroid
Nice.
Dread Amiibo, and
Nice.
Metroid Dread Special Edition.
There you go.
With
you go.
the case. I did get the case with which I can't find the case. Oh, here's the case, the black and white case.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
So I know you just got the Switch OLED.
I did. It did. Our good friend Joe, he got me a PS5. He got me a Xbox Series X. He got me the Switch OLED. Yeah, he's the king of finding hardware. I don't know how he does it.
I don't have a Joe in my life, so I definitely had to go wait online for 3 hours. Which
Well, I would have done the same thing with you if I could. I definitely wanted to be there.
So they only allowed one per customer. They didn't allow
it makes sense.
you to buy more than one, especially a special edition Metroid. It's always the guy that's in front of you that wants to buy like 4 special editions, and they say no, you can't buy 4 special editions.
Yep.
Only buy one.
Yep.
So I know you use the Switch primarily handheld.
Oh, well, I have to. I lost my dock.
Well, now you have a new dock. Now
I
you have
left
a
it at
brand new
Jamaica
dock.
State. Yeah, that's right. It's never leaving the house.
So I know that you have a dock, and I know that you do play handheld.
Yep.
And I'm here to tell you, someone who's played 5, 6 hours, 7 hours of Switch handheld, you will never dock this thing because it looks so much better
Right.
in your hand. Just like a Vita, because it's an it's an OLED screen, the original Vita, not the revised Vita.
Right.
So some differences. The kickstand is much more durable, and it's the whole size of the Switch itself, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, the speakers are better,
Right.
on here. It sounds a lot better.
It's noticeable. Yeah.
Definitely noticeable difference on that. I would say the downside, and this is a nitpicking, by the way. This is nitpicking. There's a little, when you put the cartridge in, there's like a little indent, so you can take this part out.
Yeah. The old one
Right,
had
so you
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no indent here. You really have to have fingernails to go in to open up to put the cart in.
The indent is there. It just goes all the way across.
Well, it's
got a groove, but it's not like a tiny groove.
Smaller. It's smaller than the one on the original Switch.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a little bit smaller.
I'm always worried about that hinge. Like, I'm surprised I haven't ripped mine off yet. But the little hinge on the top, that's the thing that freaks me out.
And I know you can't see it in the video, but the power button, right, is a lot smaller, and it's a little bit more inward.
Yeah.
On the Switch.
Yeah.
So. And, just a little FYI for people who have an older Switch. Like, I have every Switch model. I have the original Switch. I have the revised Switch with the better battery, which is my Animal Crossing Special Edition. I have the Switch Lite, and now I have the Switch OLED.
Nice.
And I did power. If you're on Instagram, take a look at the stories, because I did take a picture of all the Switches in a row. And one of my Switches wouldn't turn on, and I freaked out, as anybody would if their console doesn't turn on, and I figured it out. If you have a Switch that's not turning on, hold it down for like 20 seconds. Hold the power button down for 20 seconds. Release it, push it down, release it, then push it down again for another 15 seconds.
Yeah,
and then the Switch will power back on.
Oh, yeah. So it wasn't in like sleep mode or whatever, I guess. May have been in
It was fully charged, funny enough. I just haven't used it in so long.
Right.
That you have to hold it down for like 30 seconds.
Right. It like legit turns off. Yeah.
It legit turned off, and it wouldn't turn on by just pushing the power button. And I got scared. I was like, do I have a brick? So all my Switches work.
Yeah. Good.
I found it. And a little FYI, hold it down for, I want to say 20 seconds, right? Just to be on the safe side. Take your finger off the button, push it, and take your finger off the button, push it back down for another 15 seconds, and then you'll see the Nintendo logo pop up, and it'll turn on. Hopefully that works for you, because it worked for me. So I have all 4 models of the Switch. I am super excited that I love playing the OLED. The OLED will be my main Switch going forward.
Of course, same here.
It just looks that much better.
Yeah, it's solid.
So and as a side note, and I know you just got this, the Switch OLED does come with its own screen protector already installed, right?
Well,
do not remove it. Nintendo says, because it's shatterproof.
So it's not a screen protector. It's a glass shatter protection.
Yeah.
Different, because you can still scratch the screen up and all that, right? But yeah. I was looking at it. You can kind of feel it around the side. You would maybe be tempted to pull that off, right? Definitely don't pull that off. But
I'm a little afraid, because I have the case, and every Switch case that you get comes with a screen protector that you can put on it, and the new case that you get, and I don't know if they're going to do this on every new case that comes out going forward, but it comes with a screen protector for an older Switch and a screen protector for a Switch OLED, because Switch OLED,
different
the
size.
Screen is a little bit bigger because the bezel's smaller, right?
Right. It doesn't have the notch like the Mini does for the light sensor, right? Yeah.
So I'm not putting this on, because if I ever have to take this off 10 years from now for whatever reason, I don't want it to peel off the shatterproof or the other screen protector that actually comes with it.
It definitely won't. I was just talking to my friend who came by to drop off the the Switch OLED, and we were kind of talking about it. I'm like, what would happen if you put the thing on top of the whatever? Completely different type of what's the word? Adhesive. Completely different type of adhesive. So you really would have to work to get the glass screen protector off.
Okay.
So you should be fine. Yeah.
I would love to. I mean, you should have had him on the show because I'm going to say, is it worth putting it on the screen protector? Because, you know, I'm
100%. 100%. Because the glass shatterproof thing is just for if you drop it and the screen cracks, the glass won't go everywhere. It'll just spider out and not go everywhere. Because it's not a plastic screen like the older ones were, you know, and you can definitely tell.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh yeah, no. I don't blame you. I had the same question. I'm like, well, I mean, because they're both adhered to the thing, right? What if you know, because it's supposed to be on there pretty good, and then you rip it off. You could rip off the other thing. So, yeah, it's a valid concern, but no, you should be able to do that. I mean, they give you one in the box too, so you would assume that it would be safe, but
so. Again, Nintendo likes to drop new hardware with their first-party games, right? We got it with the Switch Lite and Zelda, right?
That's right. Yeah, the Link's Awakening. Yeah,
Link's Awakening. We got Metroid Dread with the drop of the Switch OLED. I gotta say, you know, I'm getting ahead of ourselves. You know, I always, you know, the games that we've been playing, right? Always start the show, but epically fail. I've been playing Dread. I've been playing Metroid Dread. I'm not gonna lie, the Emmys, right, are kind of, you know, I get my heart starts.
Oh yeah,
starts beating fast around when they're chasing me around, right, and I gotta hide it from them. So let's just jump into it. Like, let's do a review roundup. We haven't done one of these in a while about the Metroid Dread, right, for the Switch. It's sort of, you know, the Metacritic is got an 89, which has gone up since the last time I checked Metacritic.
It was 88, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, user score has kind of went down. It went from a 91 to an 87 since the last time I checked. 69 positive, 0 negative, and 3 mixed.
Okay.
Right? Nintendo Life gave it a solid 100. IGN gave it a 90. Where Games Radar sort of gave it a 70, right?
Wow.
And
70.
And the feeling for the mixed reviews was that Metroid, it hasn't revolutionized, you know, the Metroid series. It hasn't given anything to revitalize it. There was nothing new in the Metroid series other than, you know, an Emmy that made it something different, right? Because we're always looking for something what makes this different, which is gonna, you know, propel the series going forward.
I think,
and we know this. There's nothing new in this series. I mean, it's just better to use that whole pairing system, right, that they had in Metroid Samus Returns that was on the 3DS. It's better to use that on the Switch than it was on the 3DS.
What pairing system?
Well, you know, when the enemy, you know, you got to time it right when the enemy's
the parry. Yeah. You got to do the parry. Yeah. So, it's a little less necessary. Some enemies you do need to like parry to be able to open them up, but yeah. I like the new slide.
That's why we got the 3 mixed reviews. Mostly that there's nothing to propel the series going forward. Like we hope Metroid Prime 4 will, you know, help the series.
Well,
move forward.
that's a you know, third person adventure game as opposed to a side scroller. But I would disagree. I think the new slide mechanic is cool, right? And you get that at the start. And the way they kind of break up the levels, you do get a lot of new power-ups like early on too. You know, it's not just like morph ball and then the power bomb or the regular bomb and you know, whatever else. So I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe. I mean, it does feel familiar, but it also feels new. But okay. I mean, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. So I haven't played a lot of it. I haven't played. I mean, you know, I played maybe like 2.5 hours to 3 hours of Metroid Dread.
I'm probably almost 10 hours in.
Wow, man.
I am going deep on this game. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Well, you're a big Metroid fan. You're a big.
I mean, come on now. I picked that up in Japan. You know, I love that statue. I do. Metroid, top 3 franchises for me.
And I give Metroid a lot of credit. I give it, when people say this is a Metroidvania style game, I say no, it's a Metroid style game.
Right.
It's not a Metroidvania style game. I mean, Symphony at Night took elements of Metroid and, they've excelled it and made it a little bit better, but it's still elements that they took from a franchise that's already been doing it for so long. Mm-hmm. So it's a Metroid style game, and I give all the credit. I don't share the credit. I give all the credit to Metroid. And I like Metroid style games when, like Axiom Verge, the original, that, have a better story to tell, right? It's not so much the mechanics or the weapons or the enemy types. It's the story elements that that they have. In the original Metroid, I love the original Metroid, even though they didn't have a map, and I had to sit there as a kid and draw a map out for myself.
Oh yeah, it doesn't hold up well. It needs play the if you want to play the original Metroid, just play Zero Mission, which is a remake of the original, and it makes it a lot better to play. Yeah.
So, which, by the way, as a side note, I love the whole special edition Metroid because it comes with the art book from all the other Metroid games, right? And it comes with the cards, so you get the artwork from all 5, because this is essentially the 5th in the storyline wise, right? Because Prime is a different story than the mainline 2D games. Mm-hmm. So I love having the art book in the view on video. You can see behind me, I have the art book. I have the special edition right behind me.
Yeah, it's good.
And
good.
all the Amiibo for Metroid, which I love the Metroid Amiibo. They're very inventive in how they made the different Amiibos and Samuses. So
that's the one thing I don't have. I need to get the Amiibo.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, they didn't have a lot of the Amiibo. Waiting online, I was a little nervous because I got there. People were waiting in line since 2 a.m, and they were taking reservations 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and I didn't have a reservation. And I was a little worried that I wasn't going to get the Amiibo. And I love getting my Amiibo.
Right.
A lot of people that were in front of me weren't getting the Amiibo, so they were plentiful. They had a lot in stock, and again, selling one per person because they didn't want they wanted to have enough to sell to everybody.
Yeah.
And I understood that, and I wasn't mad at that. I wish, again...
No, you got to do that. I mean...
We talked about, waiting outside to buy the PS5 or the Xbox, right? I wish, we could have both waited outside, early on to get the the Switch OLED, right?
Yeah.
And, you got the Amiibo and everything. I haven't opened it yet. It's behind me. I haven't opened it yet. I do want to open it. I'm not going to keep it sealed.
Well, I think you get an extra energy tank if you scan the Amiibo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I will open it. I'm not going to keep it sealed. And I know it's, we live in New York, so we do, when it comes to Nintendo, it's just a test of endurance to wait outside the Nintendo store, because they're going to have it in stock.
Right. Well, I'm surprised they did that. I'm surprised they did that. We're getting back to normalcy, which is good, right? Because they didn't do that. Yeah. They haven't been doing that with the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox, right? Because zombie apocalypse and all that. They didn't want to have a bunch of people gathering together and waiting outside and being a vector point for disease. So you couldn't Iron Man it, but you were able to do it, which is awesome.
I'm super happy. And after I did that, I actually went back to the thrift store to pick up some good retro games, which I'll talk about in Saturday Morning Retro Show later this month. We will talk about spooky games, cheesy plug, last Saturday of every month.
That's right. It's Halloween, baby.
Halloween, baby.
Best holiday of the year. Fight me on that.
So Dave, as we always try to start the show but epically fail. What have you been playing? And please tell me you've been playing something else other than Metroid Dread.
Well, I would tell you that, Dan, but the Diablo 2 servers were down all weekend.
Oh,
so I have been playing Metroid Dread.
That's why you have more hours than me at Metroid Dread.
I mean, the game is great, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I ordered mine from Amazon, funny enough, from the treasure truck, because they don't do the truck around the city anymore where you order it and then you go to the truck and you pick it up. They're done with that. That was a gimmick. So now it's just curated items and you'll get a notification if you want it or not. Usually it's junk and you never want it. But now they just deliver it to you, which is fantastic. So you don't have to go to a location at a time to pick a thing up. None of that. None of that. So I was able to get it, and then like a minute later I went back to look and they're like, yeah, out of stock. So I haven't opened up any of the other materials yet, but I love it. It's the last thing that I got. I got the grapple beam, and I got something after the grapple beam, and I think I'm in like the 6th area. It's about all I can say. But there's definitely some surprises. There's some cutscenes with voice acting. I was very surprised about that. They do some cool stuff in the game. I like it.
I'm not gonna lie. I am anticipating next week's show because I can't wait to get your opinion on the Switch OLED. Playing on the Switch OLED for
after the show.
He's gonna say he beat Metroid Dread. He beat it on the Switch OLED, and you're gonna tell me you're gonna confess your love for the system because I know you're gonna love it. I know you're gonna love it.
Of course. So that's all I've been playing, Dan. What about you? Besides Metroid Dread.
So besides Metroid Dread, which I've only put about 2.5 hours in, almost 3 hours in, which hopefully I can be up to you right by next week. You'll get there, Dan. I did pick up No More Heroes 3 for the Switch.
Oh, nice.
By the way,
nice.
And
some people have had some mixed reviews about it. I don't know.
I like the beginning tutorial. It's an open world game more so. Like once you get past that part, it's more of an open world game where you can go wherever you want, traverse the land on your motorcycle, just like a GTA game. And I haven't gotten past that part because I went back to Metroid. And I felt like, I don't know if you played any of the other No More Heroes games, but like you have sort of like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Where it runs out of energy. And you gotta hold down R and shake the
Wiimote.
The stick.
Yeah.
Well, now you gotta shake just the stick, and I was like, I hope it don't break the stick because you gotta shake it around to sort of like kick the batteries in, right?
Oh, that's funny.
So you got to do that again, and I was like, I don't want to break my right stick shaking this thing. But the story is out of this world. It's cool. I wish it was a little bit more linear for me again because I was playing Metroid. I didn't, have the mindset to go exploring, and it's something I'm probably not going to go back to anytime soon. But I definitely wanted to pick something else other than Metroid, just so I can, see, see the screen, the OLED screen with something new. That, and I beat Lost Judgement on a Series X. I thought Lost Judgement was a great but interesting game. Persona 5, in the same way that I think Persona 5 is an interesting game with that story. There's just a different culture with the Japanese culture compared to the American culture.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much spoilery, but like the story is just kind of out of this world where I was like, are you kidding me? Really? And I'm not downplaying, because Lost Judgment is always about like a court case and, what you're accused of doing, and I'm not poo-pooing or downplaying what that person was accused of doing. I'm just saying it wasn't as severe as like murder. When they act, they sort of in the beginning of the game, mostly in the beginning of the game or the first half of the game, act like what you're guilty of was like the worst thing ever in this world.
I see. So the
it's like you stole candy from the store and you're in like, Eyewitness News. You're in like, the first.
The criticism doesn't fit the crime, right? Or the punishment doesn't fit the crime, I guess.
And again, it may be a cultural thing because I don't know if this is like a real thing, like how they treat it in Japan, right? And it's just all I can say is it's just different. I don't want to say it's wrong or their coverage of it is wrong,
right?
Because it
feels weird, is what you're saying.
It feels I can feel the cultural difference personally, where I'm like, that's not worse than murder. Like that should be our main thing that we're focusing on, the murder. This person that's never coming back.
Yeah. And I guess we could mention what happens in the beginning of Persona, because it was weird, is that you as the protagonist, right, Joker, right, you stop a rape, essentially, and then you're the one that gets dogged for the crime of violence against the dude. Like you end up punching the guy to kind of break the thing up, and then the girl runs away and whatnot, and then you get accused, which is insane. And they kind of explain it at some point, or they try and explain it a little bit more, but it's still weird. It's a little weird.
And it's something similar,
right,
to that in Lost Judgment.
Mm-hmm.
But the coverage, I would say again, I don't. It's like a fine line, because the crime is still heinous, but I don't think that it fits the media coverage.
Yeah,
the attention that it got.
Yeah.
Like,
sure,
you know. And even that with the Persona 5 example, I think is worse than what the person in Lost Judgment actually did.
Yeah.
Right? So, but I beat the game, and I will say my only issue with the game from a gaming standpoint was if you play this listen, even if you play it on easy, you got to keep a full, stock of inventory to keep your health up, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to go to pharmacies, and you have to go to convenience stores, mm-hmm. like CVS or Walgreens or something, so you can keep replenishing, your Red Bulls or
your health items and all that. Yeah, power ups.
Yeah, and they don't tell you what's a convenience store. It's just, this is a store, right?
Oh,
on the map, this is a store.
Wow.
So you go into the store, and it's like a ramen restaurant.
I don't need health right now. I need health. I need some tonic for later.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once you find a convenience store or pharmacy, once I found it, that was it. I'm not looking. I'm not looking in the map anymore. This is my convenience store. This is my pharmacy. I will always come back here to replenish for the battles that I have. And they have so many enemies, randomized gangs in the game. Whenever you're traversing a world, you just have to fight them. Even if you're already grinding somewhere on another part of the map just because you want to explore that map, when you have to go to a story element, they could be sitting right there in front of the next story mission.
Oh, of course.
Not moving.
Yeah.
And they will chase you, so you have to fight them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a problem, because I was I don't want to waste any of my energy that I have stored, that I bought, that you have to buy, by the way. It's not free. You got to make sure you have enough money.
I would assume. What are you going to just steal from a convenience store? Come on now.
Yeah. That you have to have, and it's right in front of the next story mission. You're like, oh, come on. I don't need to grind right now.
Right.
But you have to, because they're not moving, and they will chase you. And if they see you, there's no way to get away from them. You have to just fight them.
So they're like the Emmys from Metroid Dread.
Yes, they will chase you. They will run you down.
And you gotta, but you can't get away from them.
You can't get. It's hard. Well, you can get away from them, but I would say it's hard to get away from them, because they're in your way, and you have to just go in, right? Mm-hmm. So, other than that, I thought the game was phenomenal. It took me about 23 hours to beat. So
that's pretty good.
I would love to hear your opinion on it. So I would say definitely pick this game up.
I definitely want to. I'm hearing nothing but good things.
So on that note, why don't we take a break? When we come back, we're getting to the top gaming news of last week. And we're back. Let's get into the top gaming news of last week. We have to start with the final Smash Brothers Ultimate DLC character has been revealed. It is not Goku, to my disappointment.
It's not Goku?
But not Goku. It should have been Goku, but it's not Goku. It is Sora of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, Sora. That makes sense. right? Everybody wanted it. It was number 2, the number 2 pick, not the number 1 pick, but
Behind
I feel
Goku. Behind Goku. Everybody wanted Goku. I wanted to see Goku versus Ryu. I wanted to see Goku versus Ken. Goku versus, everybody.
Yeah. Well, Sakurai will do what Sakurai wants to do. I don't know if there was licensing that had to be worked out and whatnot. I mean, Sora comes with a handful of licensing, right? It's Square Enix.
Sora is not cheap. Sora, I can't imagine Sora being cheap.
It's Square Enix, and then it's also Disney on top of that if you want the full experience. But as we see, the only reference to Mickey Mouse, right, to the giant empire, is on the end of the Keyblade. Is the little Mickey symbol. That's it. They don't have anything else related to Disney, right? All the music is Kingdom Hearts music that was made specifically for Kingdom Hearts. All the Sora costumes are the different costumes throughout the different games. So all you get is the little Mickey thing.
And on the stage, right? You'll get sort of the Mickey Mouse ears and the Goofy. I think it was Goofy, right? The Mickey Mouse and Goofy. You don't get those sort of imprints on the stage layout.
Right.
So,
right.
That probably alone was like, it's $2 million, right? That they didn't pay because they're already paying for Sora and the Keyblade with the Mickey Mouse ears. So,
so
that alone was probably expensive.
I can only imagine there was possibly some licensing stuff with Bandai Namco. I think they own. Do they own Dragon Ball now? Is that them, or is it still Funimation?
I don't know who owns the game rights to them.
Okay.
But I mean, no matter what, it's something that I'm personally just a little bit disappointed in because I would have loved to see.
I think everyone's
Goku in this.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody wanted Goku, but like to there's the game rights and then there's the likeness rights too. So I think it's a similar thing as like Kingdom Hearts. So I'm sure there was some discussions around that. I'm sure they had meetings and they tried to get people on board, and they're like, "No, we're going to go with Sora." So,
but how do you like Sora? I mean, do you have did you buy any of the DLC packs for the fighters?
No, I haven't played it since like launch, basically. So I don't have the pass. I don't have any of the stuff. I'm excited. I'm probably going to get back into it.
I would love to see that they have them all on like a single disc, all cart. At least, right? like the definitive edition, because
the ultimate edition,
the ultimate edition, yes,
yeah. That would be kind of cool, right? No DLC needed or anything like that. Maybe it's like $65 or $70. I don't know, because the game's still $60, right?
Yeah, there is no Amiibo though for Sora, which I thought was surprising. I figured we would get Amiibo for that.
I bet they'll make one eventually, because I think a lot of those characters didn't get one till later. I think that's true. They don't necessarily come out when the character gets launched, for whatever reason. So
for me, I was very disappointed. I wanted Goku, right?
Yeah.
Like, I wanted like Goku, like Vegeta as sort of like the Echo Fighter, and I still feel that's big enough for. It's like, what's next, right? Even if Sakurai isn't doing the next Smash Brothers, right? Or the next system, there's always one Smash Brothers for each system that we've had since N64.
Yeah.
Whatever the next system is, right? The Switch Pro, the Super Switch, whatever you want to call it, right? Because it will be a hybrid handheld, in my view. I think it will be.
Oh, guaranteed.
It has to be.
The next system, yeah.
I think they'll make it like a Smash Brothers, sort of a new Smash Brothers game, and Goku would trump, like, because how do you trump the Ultimate Edition with all the characters, right? Having Goku.
I mean, it'd be awesome. But I also think we're 5 years out from another Smash game.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? Because like,
you're not getting that for another 2026, 2027.
At least, Smash community is strong. They've had 2 years of DLC.
If Goku's on it, then it's worth it.
Oh yeah, insane. Yeah, that would be insane. Because then you can do your Ryu versus
Smash,
Goku, and Goku versus Cloud, and Sephiroth versus Ryu.
They don't do a regular Smash Brothers game. They do Smash versus Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, maybe. I think you'd have too many Dragon Ball Z characters. No. You would have way too many. You'd have way too many of the same character.
Well, you have
They're all
But
energy
Capcom.
blast.
You have Capcom versus.
They're all blasters.
You have Capcom versus Marvel. Marvel versus Capcom, right?
Yeah, but they're not
Why can't
all.
you
They're
have
not all.
Smash Brothers.
They're not all
versus
projection fighters.
But you can have Smash-
Everyone in Dragon Ball Z is the same. They all have the fireball.
No, that's not true.
Oh.
The main characters, yes, like Goku, Vegeta,
Right.
Gohan. But you can have Piccolo, Krillin, right? You can have Piccolo, Krillin, Cell, or
and they all have projectiles, though, right?
Majin Buu. Well, what's the difference with Dragon Ball Z Ultimate? Dragon Ball Z Ultimate with Smash Brothers Ultimate when we have everybody with swords.
There are a lot of sword characters. No, and that's
Yeah,
that's like a criticism of Sakurai. Too many sword characters, right? You gotta divvy it up. At least make it someone with a hammer or so. I mean, I was happy that
Zelda,
they did.
Well, Link doesn't have a projectile, right? Other than arrows, and you can.
He's
would
got
be
the
a
bomb
Smash
too.
Brothers
But,
character in Smash Brothers versus Dragon Ball. That would be the ultimate game. That's the next game for the next system.
I think it'd be too much of the same. Like I have a hard time. And then you have like 29 versions of like Goku, right? There's Goku, Super Saiyan Goku, and all the different levels and the different volumes of hair. There's a lot. There's a lot.
I'm telling you, you're not the biggest Dragon Ball fan. I'm telling you, as a Dragon Ball fan, it would work. It would be better. I'd rather have people with projectiles than people with swords.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So we would have the opposite problem. It would be like only one person has his sword, and that's Link. So I would love to see that happen, and I'm encouraging it. I don't, Zacharias.
Get it out there, man. You got to put it out in the
can,
ether. We got to put it out in the
put
ether
it out there
so
in the
it's
ether.
known. Mm-hmm.
But if you aren't a big Kingdom Hearts fan, you have no idea who Sora is, right? Or you're disappointed. Don't worry. The Kingdom Hearts games, the Kingdom Hearts series is coming to the Switch. You will be able to play Kingdom Hearts, the original games, the original trilogy on the Switch. Unfortunately, you'll only be playing on the cloud version. So they will stream it to your Switch.
I would get that for like the third one because it's on, well, now last generation, but it is fairly, there's a lot of horsepower behind it. Look really good. I don't know if Nintendo Switch could necessarily do it justice, but honestly, I would even say like I think they probably could do 3, but they could definitely do the first 2. And there's so many different versions of it. They've already remade it like 29 times. So I'm a little upset.
Well, they always said the original Switch is sort of like a portable 360. And if that's the case, I'm with you on this, right? I know we like to debate a lot of things, right? We've turned this more into a debate show, but I am totally with you. Right? Why can't they just port the first 2 to the Switch and maybe have the third one as the streaming game?
Right. And all the other games were like PSP, DS, 3DS. They're not anything crazy. But I guess they have the infrastructure in place where they can do that. So I guess Square Enix is up to the challenge. They have servers that can handle it, and you can just stream it off there. So yeah, I don't know.
I agree with you. I feel you on that one.
Wow, this is a monumentous occasion. This does not happen often. Me and Dad.
I know, the first time you've been right in a long time.
Listen, man, I'm glad you came around. On the light side.
Well, let's transition to more games that are being ported to new consoles, and that is officially Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy Definitive Edition has been officially announced. It's the worst kept secret, right? We've heard rumors about this all year long.
Yep.
It's 20th anniversary of Grand Theft Auto 3, which transitioned the series from sort of like a top down, because the first Grand Theft Auto games are nothing like Grand Theft Auto.
The first 2, yeah.
Well, 3, yeah. Right? And I owned the first 2 games.
Yeah.
One of the first one I own on the original PlayStation, and the second one I own on the Dreamcast. Yes, right. Grand Theft Auto is that old.
Yep.
And they were sort of like a top-down perspective, right? So, Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas will be sold in a definitive triple pack edition, right? And Rockstar has taken all the individual games down from the stores, you can't buy them individually in anticipation of buying the trilogy.
Well, they're still up on Steam. I did take a look. For the moment, they're still up on Steam at $10 a pop. You can buy the collection for $30, which is the same as buying them all individually, so no discount there. $10 is on the high end of it for a game that's, well, GTA 3, like you said, 20 years old. But you can at least get them separately. So I don't know why I know why they're taking these down, because they want you to rebuy them in the trilogy for $60. They can make more money off it and this and that. I get that, but I don't know why you just don't leave the original versions up there, right? If you want to get the old version for $10, you can. I don't think it would hurt their bottom line, because the new ones, now we don't know how much they're going to do with it, right? We don't know if it's a remake or a remaster, right?
It's not a remake. These games are remastered officially, because it's going to be on the Switch too. Mm-hmm. So it's remastered. It's going to be on the Switch, PS4, PS5, and all the Xbox Series and Steam. Right. So, the thing that bums me out is that there's no announcement of a physical edition, right? Like, we're going to get these digitally on, all platforms. And that's something I'm not going to buy. Just like the Castlevania Advance, collection. I'm not buying that for $20 because I'll wait until
for the physical. Yeah.
I'll wait for it to be discounted around the holiday season, right? The digital, I'll get it for $5 to maybe $10. I'm not going to pay $20 for it, but I'll wait. I'd rather wait for a limited run and say, hey, this is out physically, which I know Rockstar is not going to do a limited run. They could do it. They have enough money to do it themselves.
Yeah. Well, I think they said there's going to be a physical, right?
I didn't see that, but I hope so.
I think I was reading on maybe Game Rant or something, because I was like trying to look up the situation with taking them down, but they're definitely going to do that. I think there is physical versions coming, which would be awesome. I'm all about this. It'd be nice to have some new visuals and some nice quality of life improvements, because for a set of games that's minimum 15 years old, right? It could definitely use a little bit of polish, I think.
What if they did put out a physical, what system would you buy it on? I would buy it on the Switch, because other than Chinatown Wars, right? Mm-hmm. Nintendo platforms haven't got a GTA game.
You're right. I'd probably get it on the PlayStation, just because, Grand Theft Auto and PlayStation are kind of synonymous in my eyes. Even though it started off as a PC game and then a PlayStation port. I would have to get it on PlayStation, because I played the hell out of GTA 3 in college. That was a good time. So it'd be fun to, play it on, the PS5 from the PS2. Yeah, I'd have to get the PlayStation version. Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of PlayStation and Sony has now have plans to discontinue the credit card and PayPal payments later in the month in October for the PS3 and the PS Vita. Mm-hmm. Officially killing the Vita, right? Because like that will be officially done.
Right.
And I could see that, officially killing the PS3. I mean, who's really buying games on the PS3 right now? And I say that, and I have to remember my best friend Brian, who loves fighting games, only owns a PS3.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
He doesn't, I've been trying to get him a PS4. I may buy him a PS4 for Christmas. I hope he's not listening to this episode, so he doesn't ruin the surprise. But yes, he still owns only a PS3. So he will get a rude awakening when he won't be able to actually use his credit card to buy PS3 games.
Right. So I get what Sony is doing, right? And you have to look at it this way, right? You have PS3, the Vita, PS4, PS5, all these different systems, right? Obviously they're all interacting with each other in a way, right? The credit card processor for the PS3 is probably the same one on the PS4, the PS5, the back end code at least, but you do have to maintain things, right? You have to make sure that there's patches out there and fixes and security and bug fixes that go out to make sure that the PS3 is secure, that you can go on and buy stuff and everything's up to date, and then and the games download. So there's some maintenance involved and all that. So I this is what Sony needs to do. The system came out in 2006, so it's 15 years old. You know, I'm surprised they supported it for that long. Like, I highly doubt. I don't even know what the situation on the 360 is. I don't know what their storefront looks like. Maybe they're still supporting it and all that. Maybe it's a little bit easier to maintain, but I don't fault Sony. The only thing I'll say is that make sure that the purchases are still able to be played, right? Once you start taking all these features down and all this other stuff. If I buy a game, I want to be able to play it.
I think you'll be able to play it. You just won't be able to re-download it.
Okay. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, that was an issue, right? Didn't they like take down new downloads and all that?
Well, they had an issue with just taking the storefront down in itself, right? Because people still were playing the Vita. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Switch has taken over as the indie gaming child, right? Mm-hmm. Where all the indie devs love putting the games up on the Switch. When they used to love putting it on the Vita, and they were taking the store down, but now they essentially are taking the store down because they're taking their way to pay for games down. Right. So if you already paid for it, you'll still be able to download it. You just won't be able to pay for new. It's the same thing with the Wii, right? Yeah.
And that's why.
And that's why I'm going to spend a hell of a lot of money on the Wii U this weekend when I buy a lot of games and just download them and keep them on my Wii U.
There you go. Hey, if you got the room, man, If you got the room. Yeah. I'm definitely not mad at Sony at this. They have to take it down at some point.
And the final story this week is Apple reportedly has made more money from games on the app than Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo combined. Mm-hmm. Just listen to that. Combined back in 2019. They made $8.5 billion, not million, $1 billion in operating profit from gaming in 2019.
Now, you think that's crazy, right? You're like, how?
I think that's crazy.
But how?
With 5 Ys.
5 Ys?
5 Ys from yeah.
Well, I mean, it's when you like look at it, you're like, how could that be? And I don't want to step on your point here, but it's microtransactions.
30% that they get from each game, right? Mm-hmm. Like they get 30% of revenue and microtransactions. That's how they made $8.5 billion.
Yeah, because everything goes through their payment processor. So every time somebody buys 99 cents worth of jewels in whatever Candy Crush, right? Whatever variation of that is, or whatever the new hotness is, Apple gets a cut, and people spend $8.5 billion on it apparently, right? So I think it's all microtransactions because all these games are free to play. There's not many games that are pay to play, right, or a single purchase. Or there is the Apple Arcade, which has to be doing pretty well. It's got a curated set of games. You pay a fee per month for that, so they're making money off that. So, yeah, I mean it kind of makes sense when you look at it, and it just goes to show how strong microtransactions are.
Yeah, this is why EA is pushing for it, right? And I know a lot of countries have sort of, have their own laws for that, but now you understand why EA is pushing to keep microtransactions
trust
alive.
Me, yeah. Well,
right.
we've had a ton of stories about this, right? How much of their profits are from microtransactions. So, funny enough, on a side note, speaking of EA, apparently they may be looking to drop the FIFA license.
I heard that.
They may call.
Is that they're looking to drop the FIFA license? They're looking to rebrand it as something else.
Well, right. Yeah, it's going to be EA Football Club, I think, is what they're going to call it. EAFC.
That's what they want to do.
2022 or whatnot. There has to be some sort of money motivation. I think it's all economically driven. Because, I mean, FIFA has such recognition, right? Say what you want about all the backdoor scandals and everything else about management and this and that. But put that all aside. FIFA's known worldwide, right? Soccer's the number one sport across the world. FIFA is the organization.
It's just like Madden, right? Like nobody says, "Hey, I want to play NFL 2022."
Right. You want to
Right?
play Madden.
I want to play Madden. I want to play the next Madden game, right? So when I hear FIFA, I just hear, "Oh, that's the next FIFA game." I don't like think of like soccer or football. Like I just, oh, FIFA.
Right.
That Evolution Pro Soccer is not something that I think of.
Evolution Soccer? No. Winning 11? No.
I don't even know the name right. I didn't even get the name
Winning
right.
11 Pro Evolution? Yeah.
I just think of, oh, I want to play a soccer game. Oh, let me get the latest FIFA.
Right, exactly. It's like Band-Aids, right? The Band-Aids aren't Band-Aids. The Band-Aids are adhesive bandages.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so that's it for the news. Dave, you got any good, solid plans for the rest of the week? I mean, I'm just gonna jump back into Metroid Dread.
Mm-hmm. Right? I'm with you. I gotta set up a Switch OLED. That's what I gotta do.
Okay.
I
can't wait. Dread. Again, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it next week. Like, I'm not gonna talk to you for the rest of the week just because I want to hear your thoughts on the Switch OLED next week.
Well, I saw the screen already, right? Because I turned it on really quick, but then there was a whole process to like start it. And like port the account over. So I'm like, all right, I'll handle that later. The one thing I'll say, and this is an issue with the OLED screens, is that they don't get as bright as an LED or like an LCD with an LED backlit array or whatever, or the Samsung QLEDs.
Is it fully charged? Because it's pretty bright.
I'll have to check the brightness settings on there, but I don't know. Like the blacks are black. The blacks are like pure black, right?
I want you to reserve your thoughts until you actually have it fully charged in your hand, ready to play, because I think it's pretty bright.
I'll take a look at it. Oh, I'm gonna be happy with it. I'm kind of just nitpicking, but you know, that's why I went with the Samsung QLED over the LG OLED, even though the OLEDs are beautiful and the colors are super deep and the blacks are pure black. I like a nice bright picture. I don't know, okay. That's just me. But all right. I'll let you know next week. I'll let you know next week what my thoughts are when I get some hands-on time with Metroid. So, yeah. Okay. And I guess you're doing the same. You're playing some Metroid. Very nice.
Just playing Metroid.
Very nice. Well, all right, folks. That is episode 291 in the books. We want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, and doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. And also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. You can check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.